you to, first of all, share a little experience where I would like you to close your eyes if you're not driving. And then, secondly, I would like to talk about relaxation. It's something that many people nowadays are not experiencing enough. And so, yeah, this is going to be a conversation about how important relaxation is. If you want to really shift and change certain things about yourself that you don't like, because we have a lot of negative patterns and habits that are instigated by deep-seated tension and trauma that lives inside of us. And the problem is we try to change things from the outside, and we do all these different healing modalities and practices that in the moment feel good and feel like a shift. But as you continue on with your life, you notice that things are not really changing. Yeah. And something more needs to happen for real long-lasting change to take place. And that's where relaxation comes into play. So we're going to talk about relaxation. But first of all, let's do a little experience. So I want you to close your eyes. If you're not driving or you're not handling any heavy machinery, then just close your eyes for a moment. And imagine you are in the Austrian Alps, surrounded by beautiful mountain landscape with lavish forests, with rivers and lakes and streams, just pristine nature. That's where you are with your eyes closed, just imagining that you are in the mountains of Austria, the Austrian Alps, right here and now. And all around you, the air, the atmosphere feels really peaceful. There's no static. There's no noise. There's nothing, just peace and quiet. There's no one to disturb you. There's no pressure to do anything. You're just in this beautiful environment where you can relax and be yourself. And as you stand in the mountain air, inhaling this beautiful mountain air, which is clean and fresh, you feel the earth underneath your feet. And you just start to relax. A relaxation that you haven't felt for a long, long time, because relaxation needs a certain environment. It needs a certain situation. And that's something that maybe isn't in your life right now. So as you find yourself in the Austrian Alps, surrounded by beautiful nature, peace and quiet, you can truly relax. And as you relax deeper and deeper, any tension in your body starts to drop away. Your shoulders begin to become more heavy, releasing any tension in the neck area. There's a softness that comes over your face, the facial muscles just relaxing. This is the feeling of starting to let go, starting to relax into a state of peace, feeling at peace inside of yourself. Because in our everyday life, it's really difficult to find that peace. But when you come to the Austrian Alps, there's nobody to disturb you. There is no pressing demands. You can switch the mobile off. And you can feel that you are in a supported space where you can just be yourself. And as you unwind more and more in this space, something magical starts to happen. Because in deep relaxation, that which you've been holding on to for so long, that which has been locked inside you for so long, starts to rise to the surface. And that's what relaxation does. It allows deep-seated tension and, I've seen it happen, trauma to rise to the surface. And when it does, it disappears. So that's the invitation in Austria, to just find a state of relaxation where you can let go. And the problem is, in the world today, relaxation is hard to come by. There's so much pressure, so many challenges, so many demands, so many responsibilities. And if you do have a mobile phone, I know everyone thinks everybody has a mobile phone, but my partner doesn't have a mobile phone. But if you do have a mobile phone, then that is a big stress in your life probably as well. So the chances of relaxing completely and fully in your everyday life become more and more difficult because of, all the stressors that are part of our everyday life nowadays. So taking time for yourself, taking a window of time to relax is key to unraveling tension and stress and anxiety that's inside of your body. Because I've been running yoga teacher trainings and retreats for 20 years now, and I hold space for many different modalities. And it's really great to do yoga stretching, or to do yoga breathwork, or to do hypnotherapy, or to do some sound healing or cacao ceremony, all these beautiful experiences that you can do. And in the moment, you feel great. But actually, what I see in the self-development and the healing industry nowadays is that everybody's going on these experiences and then returning to their everyday life. And it might feel good for a little while, but nothing has really changed. Yeah, these shifts that happen are momentarily happening. And what really needs to happen for deep, long-lasting change to take place is this release that comes from far, far, far inside us, inside ourselves. So we need to create an environment inside ourselves and outside ourselves that creates deep relaxation. And I want to just say here right now, because meditation can do this for us. If you are able to meditate, it is one of the most powerful practices to overcome deep-seated tension and trauma. Yeah? That's where long-lasting transformation takes place, in meditation. But the issue is, it's really difficult to meditate. It is so difficult to get into those deep states of meditation because it requires a certain amount of practice for sure, but it also requires certain conditions, yeah? And for many of us, those conditions can't be met because we're already in a very stressful state, our mind is racing, we have all these things that we need to do, so we just can't find that stillness, that place where we can go into meditation. So what's the next best thing? Relaxation. Relaxation is a little bit easier because you hand yourself over to a situation. You don't have to do anything in particular. And if you can reach a deep state of relaxation, then those internal changes, those shifts start to happen. And they will happen organically and naturally. You don't have to do anything. Just need to be in a state of relaxation. So, how do you get into relaxation? Breathwork is a great way. So when you're doing breathwork, for example, we are doing all these different techniques, yeah? And the whole point, the end goal, if you like to think of it like that, the end result is that we can completely release the breath. And when we can release the breath, when we can free the breath from tension, then the body starts to release as well. When the body releases and we free the body from tension, then the mind begins to release. So this is the breath, body, mind connection that we have and we can work with. And the easiest way that I feel for us to reach a state of relaxation is to work with the breath. But, and this is a big but, you need to create the right environment and inside and outside for relaxation to take place. So that's why retreats are really helpful. You come on retreat and you find yourself in the right environment. You are being supported and guided by the right person who is able to hold space for you to feel like you can relax, to feel like you can let go, to feel like you can surrender, because that's what it's about. Just finding that key that unlocks deep relaxation for you. Because when you can relax fully and deeply, internal shifts and changes happen naturally. So the whole effort, if you want transformation to take place, is to do everything you can to come to a place of relaxation. And believe me, I've been holding space for over 20 years now for yoga teacher training, spiritual retreats, for one-to-one sessions where individuals are looking to overcome limiting beliefs or shift unbeneficial habits. I've been holding space for all that. But you can do a transformational session and you're going to feel really great in that moment, and maybe the hour after the session, the day after, the weeks after. But slowly but surely, you sink back into old habits because we didn't go deep enough. And the way you go deeper, the way you allow those layers to peel away, is not by trying and doing something more. It's actually by doing less. It's actually by letting go. It's actually by just completely being in a state of deep, full relaxation. That's where the magic is. Honestly, I've seen it recently, more and more so, that when people are in the right space, when they can truly relax, then those deep-seated tensions and traumas that have been holding you back start to come to the surface. So the relaxation needs to be continuous for that continual release of those deep-seated tensions and traumas. Yeah, I find that nowadays in the self-development and healing world that's out there, everybody's running after these quick fixes, these powerful wham bam, crazy experiences where you see all these different visuals and you have this energy that comes up that is explosive, and then you feel amazing afterwards. Yeah, you feel amazing afterwards, but sometimes you haven't gone deep enough. And you haven't gone deep enough because there's you in the picture. And actually, you need to get out of yourself. You need to step to one side. That's why meditation is so powerful. You become the witness. You're just witnessing. And then these deep releases start to happen in that meditative state. But it is difficult to meditate. Next best thing, relaxation. And that's where we should be going with this whole healing and self-development movement that's happening in the world. I mean, yeah, everybody's going in the wrong direction, if you ask me. Wanting to become somebody is not what we need. All we need to do is relax into ourselves. Yeah, if we can relax into ourselves, if we can tap into who we are already, that is enough. If we can just surrender into our greatness, that is enough. So for me, after all these years, yeah, I've been a spiritual practitioner for 30 years. I've been running retreats and trainings for 20 years. And I have come to the conclusion that we just need more relaxation. You need to do whatever you need for yourself to relax. And that means giving yourself time and space. If you don't know how to relax yourself, then find some kind of situation where you will be placed in a deep state of relaxation. So that might be finding a therapist, that might be going to some retreat or something, that might be finding some kind of modality that you can work with that allows you to move into a state of relaxation. Because when you do, when you finally, completely, absolutely relax, totally, everything that's being held inside of you, all that stuck energy will surface. That's why a sustained state of relaxation is so important, because yeah, you can relax for 10 minutes, you can relax for half an hour, and you might feel a shift, you're going to feel a bit better. But when you can relax over days, this is why people go on holiday, yeah, to relax. But very often you go on holiday and it's not very relaxing at all. So the next thing that you think about is maybe I need to go on a retreat. And very often you go to a retreat and that's not very relaxing either, because you're busy doing all these things and there's all these demands on you and there's all these new people and new experiences that you're doing that don't help you to relax. So I'm guilty of creating retreats and trainings that aren't necessarily for relaxation. Yeah. Because when you come on, for example, a yoga teacher training, I've been running them for 20 years. There will be moments in the training that you're able to let go and relax, but most of the time it's very demanding. There's a lot of stuff that you've got to get through. There's a lot of demand to actually embody the practices that we're sharing with you, to take on new information, to digest that information, to see if it's working for you, to take in that information that works for you, to let go of the information that's not working for you. So a training situation is not necessarily relaxing. A retreat also is not necessarily the relaxing situation that you thought you were going to go to. I remember somebody coming to one of my retreats actually, and I was really, really proud of them, because on a retreat, there's usually, there's a schedule. There's different modalities that you're going to be putting yourself into. And one time, this one person came to a retreat, and she came from America, all the way from America to do this retreat. And when she got to the retreat, she told me that I am coming from a really stressful situation. I just need to relax. And she came to the first morning. We get up, we have breakfast, we have different practices that we do. And for the rest of the retreat, she just walked into the forest. She just went off and did her own thing. She would wake up in the morning and go for a run instead of coming to the morning practice. She would come to breakfast, eat something, then go and disappear and go reading. She basically created her own space to completely relax. And what I learned from that retreat is that if people are coming to relax on a retreat, you don't necessarily need a massive schedule of lots of things to do. You just need the right environment where there aren't all these demands on you all the time, where the environment is peaceful and conducive to just letting you be yourself. Yeah? That's when you start to relax. When you have nature all around instead of high-rise buildings and sirens going off all the time and people in your face all the time, all these different energies around you all the time, that's not going to help you to relax. So when you go to a retreat, it's really important that that retreat has the right environment for you to feel safe, to drop your shoulders down and just be yourself, to switch off your phone and not have all that noise from the outside world. So yeah, relaxation. That's all I wanted to talk about today. Finding your time to relax so deep healing can take place. Deep healing takes place when you relax. Yeah? Deep healing takes place when you can cut out the noise. Deep healing takes place when you start to feel safe in your body. And that requires you to create the right environment for yourself to be able to relax sometimes, but often it takes you being able to gift yourself a longer time, a longer period of time where you can switch off from the outside world. Yeah. You can just literally take time out for yourself, because I think that is something that's lacking for many of us in the world today. We're just on this treadmill. We're going on and on and on and on and on, and there's never a break. There's never a real sustained break where you feel like you are relaxing, not for just 5 minutes, not for just half an hour, not just for one evening, but for a whole day. And then the next day and the next day. Because this recent experience that I saw one person go through, it took 3 days for her to truly relax, and literally in a state of deep relaxation, she had a cathartic release. There was nothing before that release. She wasn't doing any breath work. She wasn't in some kind of hypnotic state. I wasn't doing some hypnotherapy with her. I wasn't doing any sound healing. We weren't in any yoga practice. It was just deep relaxation that she was in. And in that state of deep relaxation, she had this cathartic release. And it was really amazing to watch, actually. So basically, if you don't know what a cathartic release is, it's when those deep-seated tensions start to rise to the surface. So that might happen in very different ways. It looks very different for different people. You might have anger, lots of emotions. So emotional release, a deep, strong emotional release is a sign that, something is starting to bubble up to the surface. And then when it bubbles up to the surface, you get this rise of energy inside of you. And at that point, it's really good that you have this invitation to let that energy go. So when I saw this rising energy in this person, I said, have a good scream. And so she let out this humongous scream, like a scream that she was birthing some kind of entity almost that was living inside of her. Yeah. And she screamed so powerfully, not once, but twice. So the invitation was for her to scream. She screamed like she was going to blow my ears off. And then she screamed a second scream. And then you could see the relief on her face. And then I'm going to share this because I haven't shared her name. And then she got up and she said, I need to take my clothes off. And she just started stripping her clothes off. And she said, bring some sage. I need some sage. And then she was like asking me to sage her. So I was saging her all over. And then we went outside on the grass. She said, I need to eat some herbs. So I grabbed some sage, actually. I had sage and thyme there, and sage seemed like the appropriate herb at the time. So I gave it to her. She said, can I eat this? And I said, yes, you can eat it. So she was eating this sage, and it was really had a great calming and grounding effect on her. And then, and then I held space for the continuation of this release that she had. And then after that, she was telling me that she didn't believe in all this stuff that she hears online. She didn't believe when she sees people having these releases and they're crying and they're in these situations after breathwork where they're talking about how, this massive release happened for them. She didn't believe all this stuff. She didn't believe in like the spiritual world, so to speak. She didn't believe in spiritual practices doing anything for her. And she didn't believe that there was energy stuck inside of her, basically, either. She knew that she had things to work on, but she didn't quite understand how that was going to happen. And she said to me that she also didn't believe that there could be some kind of presence or entity inside of her. But after that experience, she really said that she felt there was something inside of her that came up and out. She said, this is her words, that somebody had put a curse on her. And she's been going through some kind of like relationship scenario where there was another person involved and then a third person, and that third person had been putting very negative vibes in her direction. So she had been feeling this. And so it almost created an entity inside of her where she felt like she was kind of possessed, if that's the right word, in a very negative way. And so in this deep state of relaxation, she was able to release that locked energy inside of her. And she's kind of like a convert now to working on herself in a more spiritual way, to exploring spiritual practices that will help her to come into this state again where natural releases take place. So relaxation is the key. I think I've spoken for too long now, and my partner getting my dinner ready for me. So I'm going to go and have dinner. This was a very impromptu chat. There was no script, as you probably recognize. I've just been on here just sharing that I really think in this day and age, we need to stop trying so hard to make things happen and just create an environment where we can relax deeply and fully for healing to take place, because your body has a wisdom. Yeah, there's an intelligence running through you that allows you at any moment to be completely free from tension, free from stress, you could just plug back into this space. But you can only do that when you relax. Yeah. If you're stressed, if you're tense, if you're anxious, if you've got your mind racing, you can't relax into that internal peace that is inside you all the time. Yeah. You don't need to look outside for peace. You just need to find it inside of you. Even when the world is going crazy, You can still have a state of calm and peace inside of you, and all you need to do is relax into it. So our job is to release the stresses, to take away the tension, to create an environment that is conducive to relaxation, because that is how you come back to this place inside of you where you have peace and calm, where you have inner strength, where you have vitality, where you are magnificent, where you are vibrant and magnetic. All these things that we're looking for and we want to become, we don't need to seek them outside of ourselves. We just need to relax into who we are already. So it really drives me nuts when I hear online people talking about who are you going to become? You're not going to become anybody else. So that is, yeah, that's the plain truth. You're not becoming anybody else. You just need to relax into who you are. You are already enough. And we hear that as well. We hear you are enough. But do you actually believe that? Do you actually believe that you are enough? Do you actually believe that you have all these inner resources inside of yourself that you can plug into that will be enough? Because if we truly believe that, then we would stop chasing after this person who we're going to become. We would stop looking to tomorrow for things to change, because everything that we have, everything that is actually possible is here right now. And the only way to get to that, which is inside of us, is to relax deeply into that. Because as we relax, the layers will start to drop away. So I'm so excited to create a space where people come to truly relax. And yes, we will do some practices. In the 7-7 retreat, we do sound healing, we do breath work, we do yoga nidra. We have all these amazing circles where we're talking about what's happening inside of us and sharing. But the key is that you feel that you are in a space where you can just let go and just relax. Relaxation really is the key. So let me just leave you with this one thing. Close your eyes. If you're not driving and you're not managing any dangerous machinery, close your eyes and imagine you are in the Austrian Alps. Mountains all around you, that strong, stable energy of the mountains, majestically rising out of the ground. We are at 777 meters elevation, and the air is crisp, the air is clean, the air is free of any noise. There is just the sound of the birds, but there's no sound of sirens, there's no sounds of busy, noisy industry. There's just peace and quiet. And you are walking into the beautiful forests, because there are lavish forests all around us. And you're walking barefoot on the ground. You're connecting to Mother Earth, that vital, stable, nourishing energy. You're not wearing shoes. The invitation is to walk barefoot and just connect to nature. And you're standing there in this magnificent nature, surrounded by mountains and forests and lakes and streams, and peace and quiet. The sort of peace and quiet that you just don't experience when you are in a town or a city or a village even. Here, silence is the gift. Here, nature is the gift. Here, the clean air and the clean water coming down from the glacier that you can drink straight from the tap is a gift. That's the magic of being in the mountains, that you are away from the noise. You are in a very supportive, natural environment that looks beautiful and feels very, very nourishing. So I leave you with that, and I hope to maybe see you one day up here in the Austrian Alps. Peace and love. Thank you very much for watching. If you did get to this, to the end of this 35-minute session. And maybe I'll come on and do another live sometime. Relaxation is the key. Find time for yourself. It's not a luxury. You need to relax. Create that environment, find that space, that safe space where you can just let go, and everything else will sort itself out. I give you my love and I say goodbye. Ciao.